Who's 22?
Yes, get it, get it! Good job, Katie!
Hold on. Yeah, turnover Smith 22, caused by 39. Down ball 39.
Yeah, it does. Pretty. I don't know if it's Mary Lyon.
Yeah, that's turnover caused by Smith.
Okay, then that's why they're called the Wheaton Lions. Yeah. And then the door across from where Josh just go Phoenix upstairs actually. Because northeast is the main sections of Gee, ladies! I'm really interested if you liked her. My sister, any friends who know might want to go.
Either way, let's try it.
They have a specific time period that they can be in or can't be in the team.
You have 90 seconds. Yellow.
Got it, yeah.
Curry. 22 early.
She's up in our
Good game last night,
Oh, so fun. I saw you there.
Come on, Jess! Got it, Jess!
Oh, glad to have you there.
It was great. I haven't watched
Who's
the
taking
first
the
half on my phone, but
thing?
I got there for good call.
I'm going to assume 10. Reese?
Is it a long phone?
No. I think Reese is behind the cage.
I think it's just right.
17.
Smith College golf. My number 17.
Not so bad now with the sun, huh? No, not so bad. Generally, like up there, like walking that view, okay. Take 2 steps up. We'll probably go on the board over there.
Let's go, Curry.
Let's go, Smith!
Good job, good D.
Way to go, Brad!
Smith College goal scored by number 17, Bryn Murray. Assisted by number 22, Shannon McGinnis.
Yeah, it feels good. Yeah. I don't know, does he block the line? That's his legs like that. Yeah, the 2 line, it's not long. Guy down.
Can't touch this. Can't touch this. Can't touch this. My music hits me so hard, makes me say, oh my Lord, thank you for blessing me. What am I to mind and do? I think it's good when you know you're down.
Smith College goal scored by number 22, Shannon McGinnis.
Woo!
I know that's rugby. Just looking at the photos.
But
Maybe they play in the rugby
See, it's definitely a rugby field. It's like, this has got no soccer markings on it, so maybe they play soccer.
Either they play that or they play that.
Yeah, so you could.
That's too short.
Yeah, call it football.
I feel that's too short. I could be wrong with that. It's just
No, actually, there's the clock that's right there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Frame, when they play over there.
they must play right there.
Yeah.
If you're across. If you're around circles. That's men's lacrosse. Field hockey. It's field. Yeah, it's the other markers, but the white markings must be like field hockey. Okay. That's what it is. That's what it is.
It's funny, you would think they'd have a big soccer ball. Right?
Good job, Jess!
This is a fairly big soccer area. Northampton has a good team.
They must have, yeah.
And Northampton, Amherst, and Belcher.
They always have good teams. Belchertown,
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause actually I used to cover them for a while.
Belchertown, Ludlow.
Yeah, oh, Ludlow too.
Ludlow, Chicopee.
Yeah,
Ludlow, Chicopee.
Mm.
They all actually Ludlow beat out New Bedford for the MIAA state championship a few years back.
Yeah.
We actually went to see the game, the final. It was at Worcester State.
Who's the big soccer player you covered? She Ludlow? Or
No, the one I covered, she was at Belchertown. She ended up going to, she's still at
I think it's a yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a yellow.
Yeah, we they lost against actually. It was funny as hell. Because I want to say it was Caitlin Senior and finals of the boys state championship. One of our best friends at Curry from the men's soccer team was yeah. He came over my house a couple of times. Let's go, Smith!
Ludlow has one of the older soccer stadiums in America. That field's been there almost as old as Fenway.
Yeah, it's where they hold the Portuguese feast.
Oh yeah.
The grounds where they hold the big Portuguese feast.
Yeah.
I played there.
you don't play anymore, right?
I stopped playing. I played, I came over, I was 12, so I was already playing back home. Maybe from the age of 8 to I was 30. So Caitlin was born in 95. Figure 95, 8 years, that's 2003. So I played from I was about 35 years old.
I was going to say, I think you had to play.
Yeah. I did. I played in the Bedford. I played men's league from 16 years old up.
Yeah. Because they had they've been gone for a while and they put something over. They put it I didn't have soccer when I was growing up. It came along with my brother was on. They actually put men's league.
Yeah. I played quite a bit. I also played college ball.
Okay.
I played for Massasoit too. All right. We actually won the national title.
Oh shit.
Junior college. It's nice. 1986 and 87. After that, I just played
Who's thinking 19?
adult leagues until Caitlin was. Well, I ended up. I just don't have time. I don't have time. I don't have time to play. So.
That's why we become parents.
A lot of the times
You hand everything over.
And after that, I played on fundraisers because they do indoor soccer tournaments, fundraiser tournaments. I played a couple of times. I played on the co-ed league. Yeah. The guys are keep
I knew he was somewhere. I'm 53.
52 May 7th. So I'm like, no, I'm all set. I'm good.
I just want to see you.
Not even that, because I'm not that person if I commit. It's 150%. I don't feel like I have to.
You can't play at the level you want to play anyway. It changes everything.
My mind thinks too fast with my legs. Yep. Especially after playing the game for so long.
I'm doing EP right now. The first time I finally accepted it, I'm like, all right. I cut back all my weights at the gym. I'm like, all right. Time to start realizing I'm getting older. I'm like, all right. Fortunately, I did not do the surgery, but still, it's funny. All right. It's time.
Stays like this.
Well, it's funny, the other day, when you were working the day, we were actually in the lunch.
Maybe the chair.
I eventually put my
The day that I said at work, yeah.
Yeah.
The
Salem, yeah. Eventually you get cold out, I put my coat on, but
Stay with it!
it's a break to be watching lacrosse.
The night games are still gonna get played.
Yeah. It's sporadic.
You want something? If it's as long as it's good. That means the weather's warming up. That's my it warms up. Come on, Kenny.
Behind you! Here we go.
Gotta pick it up.
Oh!
Oh, there we go. Let's sit down for a minute.
I don't know who has the ball.
Ellie.
Sorry, it was turnover 16.
Caused by whoever has the ball. She's like way over there.
I think it's 24.
Okay, 24. Ground ball, Smith 24. And then Yellow on Curry 21.
Come on, Curry!
Yellow's hair was actually long again. I didn't realize that. She's wearing sneakers actually.
I noticed the
Sure.
red yeah. I noticed the red bottom.
Still, most people are clean.
Good job! Go, Jude! Way to go, Jude!
A lot of people wearing cleats, so I don't know why. Yeah. When Katie started racing downfield, we said, we're on the side of this field. Let's get on it for a little bit.
Come on, Court, get out there.
Possession where they're actually controlling the ball.
Shot.
He's on deep somewhere.
Who's that?
Is it on one towards us?
Oh, that's yeah, they didn't say it.
So the alternate committee.
Hey, Courtney just moved out. She was playing
I didn't hear that
back.
on
She just
scale.
moved out. She's playing midi right now with Kevin.
Come on, Curry!
Nothing to look at each other, can't look off each other. One of us forward with the gas and come back. We'll stay back and forth on.
Caused by 6.
Turnover Smith 24.
Yeah, caused by 6.
Comfortable right here, man. I like this.
Yeah, I'll take this every game.
Yeah.
Somehow is not really
Feeling gorgeous, doesn't it?
I'll take this.
Really?
Let's go, Spurs!
I'm gonna try. During my training time, my coach. See what I'm
Oh, what a grab. Taylor, stay with her. Come on. Take that ball away.
Good hustle ball, Lee.
No! Great pass.
Great pass.
There was no way you don't score that ball.
No, I have
Let's go, Spurs!
I have a second pair of gloves. Smith 17.
Five is wide open. Good job, Colleen. Good job, Jess.
Get it, get it! Come on, go!
Got to be careful on her again. She's walking all along.
Sharon!
Got clear turnover Curry 22 caused by Smith 10.
Let's go!
Graham Wilson.
Okay.
Shot, take the shot!
I know, right?
Come on, Curry, get that ball! Come on, let's go! Let's go, Sam! Katie! Come on, Brad!
Give it a K.
One more.
17.
Come on! Good job, Jess!
Good job, Jess. Come on, Jess.
Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Just one, get the confidence up. Get it going. Come on.
You gotta go. Oh.
Here we go! Here we go! Come on! Fight each other. Come on, Katie!
There we go.
Nice save. Good shot, Allie.
Come on, Taylor.
Take your time, take your time. Look around. Let's go, Smith!
And then it was shot.
Ah, pick it up! Few years. Have you used them all up now?
No, I know. I still have like.
You won't need them till grandkids at this point. We were just saying that. It's funny.
So coming to an end, it's like, you'll be bored next one. There you go. You got that big good nephews and stuff. Ours are all grown. Our youngest are juniors in high school now. Yeah. There you go,
Goal scorer number 17, Brent Murray.
Very good, man! It is a lot, I get it.
But like we've had it.
Yeah, exactly. Remember freshman year, that's it. Well, you don't really come on, fellas! This is it. It's like, so make the most of everything you can. Are you serious? You were yelling earlier, right?
Yeah, she's done.
Thank you, sir.
That's her second card, come on! Third yell was the third. See how they sit on the chairs? Yeah, just don't. She was sitting closest to the table. I was sitting there furthest.
Oh, is that?
Ivy.
If she's out, she's out.
Come on, Curry!
After the penalty, then getting back to the
May have cut it out and started early. It was only 12:20 in the first half.
Let's go! Fine!
Come on, Curly!
Nice! Good job, Jess! Is that new stick? Not yet? I heard about the new stick. She's all excited. All right. Not using it yet? Okay. All right.
That one's white, yeah.
Come on! Let's go!
Curry!
That's a vibe. Yeah, that's a vibe. It's a vibe. That's a vibe. Yeah, that's a vibe. Oh, it's a vibe. That's a vibe. Yeah, that's a vibe. She want a vibe. That's a vibe. Yeah.
Come on, Curry!
Let's go, Sven! Keep it up!
So close.
For her to do it, I'm like, she can go now.
I'm ready.
More importantly, my hands are ready.
Smith goal scored with number 15, Stella Alphys.
Let's go!
Come on, Curry, get off your heels. Let's go.
I feel like we're actually fine. It's like my team.
Come
Go
on!
right in. Go right in.
Good job, Jess!
Good job!
Come on, Reese.
Get it
Good
up!
job, Kay!
Get it up!
Let's go! Good job, ladies! Yeah, exactly.
Come on, Curry, good defense!
No, Jess was fantastic. Yeah, the D is the D.
Let it
Yeah.
down.
Good job, Sharon.
Get it, get it! Get it! There you go.
Scramble.
Let's go! Come on!
Fancy cool. This is blue sky comedy. Come on.
Come on! Yeah, bro!
Blue sky coming again. Thank God.
Is it coming or is it going?
Oh, yeah, no, I think it's coming this way.
Curry!
Snow squall.
Yeah, exactly.
Ew.
Let's slow him down to a complete stop. I know.
Kevin, let's just go over here.
What year are we in?
Come on, Curry! Come on,
exactly.
There you go.
No authority.
Let's go! Come on, Smith!
Yeah, just pull the hard way. You ready? Walk away.
I just want to hold it.
Just hold it.
As soon as we get it. Yeah, you'll set it.
Come on, let's go!
The sun is not coming out.
Come on, real quick.
Curry goal scored by number 22, Sharon Doherty.
There you go. I couldn't see who scored it. Did you see it? I thought they hit us. It was in the back.
I was surprised that she could get it over somebody. She's so short.
I thought you'd ever do Bell's Hall.
Yeah.
You saw the ball.
You just saw the ball go right over the.
We'll be done.
Yeah, boy. They're all.
Come on, Curry, good D.
Look at we have played down here. They were right on that.
Let's go, Smith!
I
Keep
know.
it up!
I mean, the long term, it might take 2 seconds for the ball to get from that point to that point. Working to the ball. Yeah. Actually, there's no ice in the jacket. It's the ball gets so offensive to me.
He's going to last standing for a flat ball. He's cutting and pushing.
Yes, yeah.
Curry.
Curry what?
Come on, Curry! Go, Chella!
getting the most emails from about tomorrow. Bonnie.
Let's go, man!
Come on, Curry.
They're like 7 a.m. From Bonnie.
Yeah, Jess! Woo!
That's like so tough.
Get it! You go get it! Nice. Good job, Jess. Run! Run! Okay.
Come on, Bryn. Yes, Bryn.
Pick up, Kaylin. Stay with her, Kay. Don't let her get it, Kay.
Sorry, Amber.
Curry goal scored by number 23, Leona Stevens.
Let's go, Smith!
Let's go!
That's all right, now I fell.
Have the voucher printed and under the
Probably could get this.
Someone said they like refused to fill the lines last time.
Stick up, stick up! Right there! Good job, guys!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our halftime interview series. My name is Sammy Pavlov. I'm a senior on the field hockey team. Thanks for joining us again today. And today is actually a special day for those of you at home that have just finished the last day of finals. I want to say congratulations, whether it's your first semester of college or your last semester of college, or you just got through the week, congrats. And to my fellow seniors, we have just finished undergrad. Cheers to us. I hope you find time to celebrate all that you've accomplished, and I am so proud of the class of 2020. So I lift up my water cup to you. Maybe you are joining us after the first half of the lacrosse game with a special drink, but I hope to the class of 2020, to our seniors, congrats. And today I am so excited. I am here with UMass Director of Sports Medicine and Head Athletic Trainer, Jen Broder. So Jen, welcome.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. And I echo your sentiments there. Congratulations to all your graduates. I won't tell you how many years ago it was that I got to do that last final and come out and celebrate. But no matter where you are and the situations you're in, knowing that you're done with that phase and there's so much ahead, it's a really fun and exciting time.
It is, and we should be celebrating, and
Absolutely.
what better way than during this halftime interview series and the Smith Athletics games. Jen, I just want to say you have had a distinguished career and all these accolades and awards. Most recently, you won the National Athletic Trainers Association Most Distinguished Athletic Trainer Award last year in 2019.
I did, yes.
Congratulations. And you also, being both head athletic trainer and the head of UMass Director of Sports Medicine, only you're one of 4 women in the country that hold that title. So that is like so special. It's we are so happy to have you. And just to get us started, what inspired your career in athletic training?
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for being a good PR person there. It's hard to talk about yourself a lot of times, but I'm proud of those things, and I think the majority of them that I've gotten are from your peers, which makes them even more special. When people that you work with and student athletes that you've worked with through the past come back and thank you and nominate you for those things, that makes them even more special. So I've been very fortunate. I've had a lot of good luck in my career. But I think it started mostly just like any probably athletic trainer does. I was a high school athlete that was looking on to go to play field hockey in college.
We love that.
That was my sport. And we moved to the Midwest when I was in high school, and I thought I was this big tough 16-year-old and told my dad I wasn't going unless I could still play field hockey. So I ended up finding a school in Ohio that I could play at, and looked at going to play in college. But then one summer got to work with an orthopedic surgeon, just did an internship, followed him, and he asked me if I had ever heard of this career called athletic training. Kind of gave me some exposure to it, and I hadn't, and it really intrigued me. I really wanted to go into orthopedic surgery, but then shadowing him decided I didn't quite have enough of the self-confidence that you need to be a surgeon. And really loved the idea of athletic training where I could keep sports and medicine together.
Yeah.
And it was the perfect fit for me. I've gotten to be around sports in all different levels, and I've gotten to do that orthopedic aspect as well as the other aspects of athletic training. And it just all kind of fell into place. So then when I went off to college, I had to decide you weren't allowed to play a Division I sport and be a student athletic trainer just because of the time commitment. When I came up through the ranks, we were assigned to teams and we traveled with those teams everywhere they went. So I decided to give up the field hockey and went into an athletic training undergrad program and did that for 4 years. So
and the rest is history.
I guess it worked out okay.
One of the most interesting things I saw, I was reading about your journey, is that before, you were heading UMass's football team, you actually worked for WNBA's Connecticut Sun.
I did.
Tell me about that experience of working for the WNBA.
Yeah, I had the opportunity actually to work 2 pro women's sports. So I worked in the American Basketball League, which was the pro women's league before the WNBA. And they lasted about 3 years. And then when the WNBA came around, it was just hard to compete. The WNBA had so much more money, and the big name players were headed towards the WNBA. So it was tough for those 2 leagues to compete. So I took a little break, went back to the college setting, and then had the chance to go work in the WNBA. And I liked it. It was a good fit. Wasn't where I wanted to be. You go somewhere and you realize that you're just meant to be somewhere. And it just taught me that I was meant to be in the collegiate setting. It was just, professional athletes are a little different to work with. I had a nice group of ladies that I worked with, but it just wasn't giving me the opportunities that I got in the college setting. Like there wasn't room for advancement. You were doing a lot of other things as well as athletic training. It was kind of a grassroots, which I didn't mind, but I was doing a lot of laundry and a lot of travel and a lot of those kinds of things. So I wasn't getting to spend the time and energy on the rehab and the healthcare that I would have hoped. So I spent 1 season. I wanted to do it, wanted to see what it was like, and then just knew where I belonged. So,
well, UMass is so lucky to have you. And talking about your transition from working for the WNBA to being a collegiate athletic director, you have oversaw many of the men's teams at UMass, previously lacrosse and swimming, and now the football team. As a woman, you must experience tremendous amounts of challenges, as along with successes. And can you talk about that as what it's like to be a woman, heading those men's teams?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I've been fortunate. I've worked with some very respectful coaches, and I think a lot of that comes from the top down. If your coaching staff treat you with your male or female, if your coaching staff treats you with respect, then your student athletes are going to do the same. And I think that's one thing about our position in general is we're not a member of a coaching staff, and we're not part of the players group. So you're kind of in this no man's land where you're considered support staff, and you're working with the teams and you're working with the coaches, but sometimes it's hard to find that sweet spot where you belong as an athletic trainer. You don't know where you fit in sometimes. So that can sometimes add to that stress as well. And I've had a few episodes. I've had, my favorite is I had when you play football, the officials come in before the start of the game, and you have to sign off on a card. And the card says that you know the risks of football, you've discussed it with your team, you don't have anybody that's wearing equipment that can be used as a weapon, anything like that. So I have to sign it every Saturday. So the officials bring it in. And we were playing at Gillette for one of our games. And the way that athletic training room was set up in Gillette, there were like 4 taping tables, and you came in the door and you were right at the first table. And I was at the 4th. So I was furthest away from the door. And I think I had 2 students and then one of my assistants and then me. And the official came in and he said, "Head trainer." And my student's like, "Nope, down there." He went to the next one. These are all 3 men. Went to the next one, head trainer. He's like, "No." And he finally got to me and he goes, "You're the head trainer?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "For football?" And I said, "Yeah." And I said, "You know what, dude?" I said, "I got to vote in the last presidential election too." And his buddies just like railed him. And I use that because it's one of my favorite, like he was so embarrassed, but here I am. It's like 2017, dude, or 18 or whatever it was, like we can do this, it's no different than any other sport, So you still have some of those biases from some of the people in kind of the sports world. And I think sometimes it takes a little bit, I think I probably work a little harder and am a little bit more, probably almost too professional just to prove so that no one has any room to say that something was questionable, but I probably don't relax or joke around quite as much as guys would around the football players or whatever. But I'm really fortunate. I've not had any issues at UMass since I got there and took over football, and they call me Miss Jen. They're super respectful, and a lot of them will talk about me as though I'm their older sister or their aunt, or some will call me the team mom. And even though I'm old enough to be their moms, I'm like, no, let's stick with the cool older sister or the cool aunt. So I've been fortunate, but you definitely notice sometimes that you're not included in things that you might be otherwise. Or I was talking to a friend the other day on a committee that I'm on, and she was telling me one of her favorite quotes is by Shirley Chisholm. And it says, "If they won't give you a seat at the table, bring your own folding chair."
Rock and roll.
Yeah. And it's kind of been, it's not knowing that, it's kind of been the way I've handled things in the past. So if someone doesn't want to give me some due time or an opinion, I just give it to them anyway.
There you go.
Yeah. So I've been fortunate.
That's awesome. And talking about this topic of getting women into athletic training, I wanted to bring up the program at UMass, the kinesiology internship, where undergraduates can get that experience, that hands-on experience working with a team. And what advice do you have to young women, young female athletes looking to pursue a career in athletic training?
Well, for me, it's a great career, and especially for athletes. I think we have a lot of athletes that have decided either that they just don't want to play in college, or that it's whether injuries. A lot of athletic trainers come from long-term injuries. They've had to end playing careers, and they've become athletic trainers from that. And I think for me, one of kind of my wheelhouses that I thoroughly enjoy is working with students, and the leadership aspect, and being a woman in leadership, and how important that is to not only your satisfaction with your career and moving forward, but paying it forward to the next generation. I've been very fortunate, and I've had mentors that would do anything they can to help me get where I want to be. And that's, why I've been able to be successful. And I just think it's an awesome career. There's so many things you can do with it now. When I was coming out, your choices were basically high school, college, and pro. But now you can go into the military, you can go into performing arts. I have a friend that works at a coal mine and works with the miners at the coal mine. Yeah, like you can do so many. The Blue Angels have athletic trainers. NASA employs athletic trainers. It's become such a diverse profession now. It's no longer just taping ankles and handing out water bottles. You know, there's so much more to it with the prevention of injury, the rehab of injury, the day-to-day medical care, the strength and conditioning aspect of it that we do, prehab, making sure people don't get hurt to start, working on ergonomics and work release and work fit type thing. So it's an amazing, amazing career. So I kind of call it coming over to the dark side.
Yeah,
absolutely, absolutely. And we'll have students that come in and they're trying to decide between physical therapy and athletic training, and I call it coming over to the dark side. And I'm like, by the end, they start thinking they're going to go PT, and by the end, I've convinced them to become an athletic trainer. And I always feel like I've kind of won a battle trying to get them.
Yeah.
But there's so many different. Right now is a great time. And healthcare. I mean, we're always going to need healthcare. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, you look now, especially with all the stuff, COVID that's going on. If you look at a lot of these places where they're doing testing before you go into buildings or in hospital parking lots, a lot of those are athletic trainers. You know, we have such skill at so many different things that it's really helping the profession, both marketing, you know, and job-wise. I mean, there's jobs, which is not so.
That is good, and hopefully someone listening or knows someone that is a young woman debating going into the field, and hopefully, you know, you tell them like go for it, and every day is different, and there's a ton of options.
Yeah, and what do you have to lose?
Yeah. And I just want to say like a very sincere thank you as a student athlete myself. I know that, you know, I could not play to my best of my ability without the athletic trainers at Smith and neither for my teammates. And just another gratitude as, you know, an additional, almost like that additional member to the team. In field hockey, we always say like the 12th member, like your parents, everyone else that, you know, gets the job done. And that's like the sincere thank you from me to you.
Oh, I appreciate that. And I think that's one thing, you know, there are very few athletic trainers that are athletic trainers for any other reason that they want their student athletes to be successful. I mean, the pay is not great, the hours are crazy, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. Like I think back often, my roommate in college was a swimmer. And so she used to be my dummy for all my classes where I had to take someone in, or she'd let me practice taping. Yeah. And I remember one night I was like, I can't do it. It's too hard. You know, I was probably struggling through like an exercise phys exam or something. And she's like, Jen, what else are you going to do? She's like, this is you. Like, there's nothing else you're ever going to do and be this happy when you're doing it. And she was so right. And it all comes down to getting a phone call 5 years later, or this football season, we had a player come back that graduated in 93 with his little boy who wanted to come introduce me, not 93, sorry, 2013, wanted to introduce him and let him know who I was because he'd heard him talk about me. You know, like, those are the reasons you do it. It's for the interactions. It's for helping the next generation. It's for help. I get such joy. My prize pupil so far was a student we had undergrad in the kinesiology program, wanted to go PT, changed her mind, became an athletic trainer. She went to Arizona School of Health Sciences to get her master's degree in athletic training. Then she got a graduate assistantship at Oklahoma with their football team. Well, the first year they played in the Rose Bowl. The second year they played in the national championship game. And then last year she did a seasonal internship with the 49ers and played in the Super Bowl. So here's a kid from Massachusetts that had no idea what she wanted to do. She came and hung out one weekend because she called and said, could I just come see what it's all about? And now she's got a Super Bowl ring.
You know what? And that's, I mean, is there a better story than that?
Yeah. And she sent me a picture from the Super Bowl holding the trophy with a giant thank you under it, you know.
Oh, well, you know what? It's very well deserved. And again, you know, that's about all the time we have, but a sincere thank you from all the student athletes.
Thank you very much. Our pleasure.
Yeah. And thank you to all that are watching. I hope you enjoyed the second half of the lacrosse game. My name is Sammy Pavlov. I'm your host. We will be back in 2 weeks for Friday's game. So not the next Friday, but the Friday after. Come join us for another game of the week and a halftime series. I hope everyone stays safe. Thank you again, Jen, and take care.
Absolutely. You too. Be healthy.
I could have.
But I didn't.
Come on, Curry.
I love how she coaches. She's a different style than Lynn. Both methods, they work together. It's just cool that the man she has on the team with how raised her is.
Oh, there you go. Good job, Taylor. Let's go, Curry. Come on, Carly. Come on, Carly. Oh, nice. Go, Sharon. Oh, nice try, Sharon. 22 left. Come on, Carrie.
Let's go! Go!
Stay with her, Carly. Come on, Kay. Stay with her, Kay. Come on, Kay.
Come on!
Sharon! Run! Just run.
Go.
Just run.
Let's
Go,
go.
Sharon! Nice! Oh, shoot! 16. She got the ball. She reached and got the ball after the shot. Took the shot and got it. Come on, Perry!
Move around.
Come on, girls.
Ladies, get open.
Come on, Perry.
Come on, ladies.
Go, Dee! Good ball! Go, Grandma!
Stay with her.
Stella. Well done, Stella!
It's a party. That's a vibe. She wanna vibe. That's a vibe. Yeah. That's a vibe. It's a vibe. That's a vibe. Yeah.
Smith College goal scored by number 15, Stella Alphys.
Come on, Perry.
Yes, Matt! love it, my man. I love it.
I'm trying to win it for me. And they got nothing to lose. I want the people to see. New year, new me. But it's just not true.
Go, Brent. Go, Brent. Yeah!
Does the game start at 1 tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay. Down there.
Smith College goal scored by number 2, Caitlin Chu.
We're so close.
Come on, Mercedes.
Come on, Curry!
That's good.
Come on, Allie.
Let's go.
This isn't 12 o'clock. Get it, Allie, get it.
Go, come on.
Let's go, defense.
Come on, let's go.
Oh! Get it, Sharon!
Come on. Defense.
It's your kid. guy down here takes his coat off. You sure you want that? That's just Sharon's hobby.
I'm good.
Poor receipt. Come on, Curry! Come on, girls! Let's go! Yeah, yeah! Yeah! Stay with her! Stay with her, Ken.
Well done, Liz! Good work, Liz.
Come on, Curry. Get him back. What would you say that was? Yeah, sorry. Come on, Curry, good defense.
Smith called goal scorer by number 17, Bryn Murray. Assisted by number 10, Reese Gittleman. Now in goal for the Pioneers, number 34, Abby Edwards.
The kids are like
Let's go, Abby!
Did you put, after you go to game control? All right, girls.
Smith College goal scored by number 5, Liz Lee. Assisted by number 10, Reese Gittleman.
There was a funny song we used to play when we would get to 10 goals. Come on, girls! I forgot what song it was. It had like rolling in there, something like that. Because it was running, or it was running like, and then he's running and running and running.
Sharon!
Smith College goal scored by number 9, Sydney Havlick. Curry goal scored by number 22, Sharon Doherty. Curry goal scored by number 23, Leona Stevens.
If you want to score, just switch the pick.
I want both.
Okay.
Come on, Terry! Go
By 8 or 9.
Ooh, that's close to the number I had in my head. I was thinking 65.
57, 59.
So it's a close game and we get the foul shots at that. I'm pretty much along with that. I was thinking 65 to 59, right around there.
Yeah.
Right in that ballpark.
Last night I was calling like a 3-point game and it was a 33 a tie or we miss a 3 at the end.
If you would have made foul shots last night, it wouldn't have been that dramatic at that.
Let's go, ladies!
Right. Morgan and Jesse. Imagine if they had ours.
I know.
Next year. It's fine.
What number is that, Sarah?
What was the score when we played that?
I don't remember. I feel like it was in the 60s.
Was it a close game?
Sorry, it's 4.
Curry goal scored by number 4, Marissa McCarthy.
Was Allie playing in that game? That was after her injury?
Yeah.
That's at least a little.
Ciara, how do I say crease?
What?
She ran into the crease.
Oh, it's just
Turn over?
yeah, sure.